I'm just going to tee up some of the reaction for you with this Congressman, Adam Smith, who came on my program last week. He's a Democrat from California, and he defended Tim Walz very strongly and basically told us there's no there, that we're making much ado about nothing. And I'll give you my first soundbite 11 here with him. Watch this.
I am talking about the accusations that are being made against him. They are absolute lies. What the actual facts are, he decided to run for Congress in February. He got out of the military in May, and his unit was called up in July, and I believe didn't deploy until like 6 months after that. He left the Guard unit specifically to run for Congress before the deployment orders came in. The lies are being told about Tim Walz. He did not get out of the National Guard because he didn't want to deploy. To claim that is an absolute lie, 100%. So yes, there may be a few veterans. I don't know what their motivations are. I don't know who they are who are saying this. But again, let's just take a step back for 1 second. The accusation that Tim Walz didn't want to deploy with his unit, and that's why he got out, that is simply not what the facts show. And if you are a veteran and you are saying publicly that Tim Walz decided to get out because he didn't want to go to Iraq, then you are saying something that you cannot possibly know to be true.
Well, what's your reaction to that? Start with you on it, Tom.
Wow. That kind of gets a guy fired up. Tim Walz said himself in March of 2005 through his campaign, a statement that was put out that he was going to run for Congress, but the unit had been notified that they're going to be going to Iraq in the near future, sometime in the future. He said, that's all I'm going to say about it. But I have a great support team and a great wife, and they're going to support me whether I campaign in Minnesota or Iraq. I mean, it was his words. It's out now that he knew in March that this was going on, and then in May he retired. So it's not like it was something that was months down the road.
Yeah, but he filed to run for Congress in February.
Correct, on the 10th of February.
That's why Adam Smith and others say, how can you say he abandoned his unit? He filed to run for Congress and leave the unit before he got official notice on paper that they were going to be deployed.
The official, the warning order is an official notice to the units out there. I mean, it's a secret order. It's classified and it's read to the soldiers, and it's probably destroyed. I tried to get a copy of it, and it's I don't probably exists somewhere somewhere out there, but it's not something that's public that you can find.
So your point is he knew before February of 2005 when he said he was retiring.
I mean, from what I'm hearing, the leadership of the state pretty much knew something was going to be going on in the summer of 04. And in the fall of 04, brigade and division and battalion leadership, there's no evidence for sure that we know that they knew. But if that's how it usually works, is that the senior leadership knows ahead of time in a meeting that's classified.
They don't find out at the same time the rest of you guys find out.
They always know it. I mean, it doesn't just all get dropped. A bomb gets dropped on the whole dang unit out there in the leadership and the soldiers all at once.
And he was in leadership. He had the same position to you. So do you agree with that he would have told? Because Doug Julien, he's out there saying, and he also served, I'll get his title. He also says that they were actually told in the fall of 2004, he said, that's when we received my commander and myself of the 1st Brigade, 34th Infantry Division Brigade Combat Team, what's called a notification of sourcing, which is a NOS, he described it, informing us that we would be alerted to go to Iraq within the upcoming year. Start preparing your team.
Correct. Doug was the brigade command sergeant major at the time. Doug
Julien, who I just mentioned.
Correct. He retired out as the division command sergeant major. Though the reason, what was that Democrat's name again?
He was saying that there's no way you could, Adam Smith.
Adam Smith, okay, whatever camera's looking at me, this is how I know Adam Smith, that he is, again, a liar, because he told me and other sergeant majors in the meetings that you can count on me. I will deploy with my unit. His words to my ears and others. So that's how I know. I'm not making it up. I have thousands of soldiers that I took into combat and brought back all well. They know me. if you knew my blood was boiling right now, because Walz has done nothing but lie to feather his own bed his entire career. That's how I know. I was there. I just didn't make this up. Tom and I just didn't make this stuff up. I was in the meetings. I was part of it. Soldiers died. Soldiers went on this. You think their parents didn't want their soldiers to take a pass, take a knee, and maybe go on the next one or go on something that maybe isn't so dangerous? You're darn skimpy. He came out and said he was going to go. All the time working behind Doug Julien's back, going behind the chain of command's back to secure his retirement. I mean, I still don't know who signed the 4187 to allow him to get out. He would have got caught up in stop loss for sure, and he wouldn't have gone anywhere. He already proclaimed that he wasn't going to go out. He was going to deploy forward with his unit.
So you're saying whenever he found out that he was deploying, and you're saying he found out before he's saying he found
absolutely.
out. But whenever he found out, prior to his official leaving of the National Guard, he knew Iraq was coming, and he was telling you, I'll deploy, notwithstanding the fact that he had said already, I'm going to run for Congress. He's saying, I'll go with my unit.
Oh, absolutely.
And didn't.
And he didn't. No, he didn't.
Why? Explain why that's a big deal. Because, his defenders say, he was allowed to retire. So, yeah.
And I will say, this is another thing, and I put it out there. I spent 34 years in the Army, almost 13 of those as a sergeant major. The preponderance of my career, and us as non-commissioned officers, I don't think people understand, or they don't have a good understanding of our role in the military. When push comes to shove, we have officers that are appointed over us, and our job is to make sure that those soldiers are motivated and educated and trained to the best of their ability with all the assets at hand to carry out the orders of the President of the United States and the officers appointed over them. Back in World War I, when we were doing trench warfare, the officer would blow the whistle to leave the trenches and charge the enemy across the line. The non-commissioned officer's job is to make sure that they're motivated to the hilt to come out of those trenches. And I'm going to be the point of the spear. I was in an MRAP. I was out there on the road. I was out there in harm's way just as much as anybody else. And my job is to make sure that those soldiers have the utmost confidence in their leadership. If the powers that be, if the officer blows the whistle to leave the trenches, and I'm the guy who's motivating everybody to leave, and I go, nah, not today, I'm not going. You guys go right ahead. That's a morale crusher. It chews away at the fabric of the military and its ability to do its mission. And it may not legally be wrong. It is morally indefensible. I could have retired. Tom could have retired. All the guys that were in those meetings, all the soldiers that were in those meetings, all our CSMs, we're all long in the tooth. We could have retired. We didn't. We had other soldiers that put their lives on total lockdown because of this, because they went to defend their country. They had soldiers. I'm not going to let my soldiers go forward without me. I trained them. I put myself right there with them. I'm going to suffer every hardship that they do.
And that's the position he was in.
That's the exact position he was in. And he walked away from it. He didn't care. It was all about him.
Grand Canyon University, a private Christian university in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, believes we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. GCU believes in equal opportunity and that the American dream starts with purpose. By honoring your career calling, you can impact your family, friends, and community. Change the world for good by putting others before yourself. Whether your pursuit involves a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, GCU's online, on-campus, and hybrid learning environments are designed to help you achieve your unique academic, personal, and professional goals. With over 330 academic programs as of December 2023, GCU meets you where you are and provides a path to help you fulfill your dreams. The pursuit to serve others is yours. Let it flourish. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.